Hey YouTube, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. News and views, this time views on some of the news and got a dude from a channel called Real Israelite, Mike something. I couldn't catch his last name. But anyway, I had typed him and I asked him to use a clip of his in this. Y'all go check out his channel. He has a lot of stuff on his channel. However, he does lean towards a particular group. And I'm against that. Not the group per se, but I'm against black men leaning towards a particular individual and or group. I am for us learning from any individual and or group that inspires us to go and research and study. But everybody should not have one monolithic thought, with the exception of to do what's good for one, black men, then the black family. That should be our one monolithic thought. So whatever is in the best interest of black men first, then the black family. Why do I say that like that? Because black men that have families care about the families, which means that when the family is under the rulership of the black man, all right, the black man, because of how he was made and the pride that he has in the protection and all that is within, will protect, take care of that family. And that's generally speaking. The worst place you could put anybody is in the hands of a single black woman. Y'all seen the stats on that I put up in a lot of my videos. For those that didn't see them, oh, don't worry about it. Just watch a lot of videos. You're going to get around to them, especially the later ones. So I put those stats up there so people can have understanding. All right. That when I say that the worst place for a child is in the possession of a single black mother, I'm not saying it because I feel that way. I am saying it because the stats prove it, empirical evidence prove it, my personal family life proved it. Will some of us make it out? Yes. You would consider me lucky. I am 1/6 though. So that's not good. 1/6. Only 1 of 6 of us. Now let's count the children. And then it's worse yet. Okay. That the children, all of us children had, that follow the teachings of the mother, single mother only. And most of our children are in a bad place. That is just my family. And of them, my children and the 2 that I'm raising are the only ones that are going to make it out without having to deal with the streets. Period. And by streets, I mean drug use, drug dealing, drug families. All right. Because these black women, they exploit children. They exploit the sons and stuff to bring them home money. They want to send the daughters off to school, make them do well in school and stuff like that. But the boys, they destroy. All right. So that's why my channel caters to black men. See, I realized this a long time ago. If good black men can find good black women and the women follow the leadership of the black men, then everybody under that leadership would be okay. But the problem is black women won't follow that. Right? Now, the good black men are the chosen. All right? All black men, the majority of black men in the United States are the called. Meaning that we are Israelites. Majority of us. Many of us are indigenous to this land. Some of us were brought over. All right. You got Israelites all over the world. Right? But most of our Israelite sisters have failed the black man and the black community miserably. Most don't even care though, because they love the slave master and they love evil. All right. And so basically, that's the preface for all of this. Now, we get into who we are as a people. All right. The majority, back in the 70s, 60s and stuff, the majority of the black women used to be in shape like this. These are all models. All right. And being that they're models, they're not the norm. The norm we get is the bad looking, weave wearing, out of shape, good for nothing black women. All right. Men were always big and used to work. Men were picked on their work ethics. And then Hollywood convinced these women to pick dudes on six pack. All right. Six pack have nothing to do with the seed. All right. Now, I agree we shouldn't be 300 pounds either. All right. But the only dudes that black women pick that are 300 pounds and out of shape and stuff are all thugs. You see what I'm saying? So no matter how well a black man keeps himself up, that's good, that works, that know how to supply, provide, and lead. No matter how well he do that, these women are brainwashed to pick whatever is evil, whether it be an Aryan white man, a KKK white man saluting, doing a Hitler salute for the Nazism white man in the United States. Oh, there's going to be some surprises to that, right? And so basically we get into this. Who Hitler say the true Israelites are, and this is according to the Time Life book that tells it, right? So I'm going to have that information on the book in here. It costs like $60 to $70 is all going to be used, right? But you can get one for $60 to $70. You'll have the title up here, right? But first, oh dang, I forgot. Oi to the bang, vasses los, gudag, bonjour, bonjour mes amis, kedu, bawani, konnichiwa, ni hao ma, sani bonani, and jumbo, habarigani, assalamu alaikum, and shalom. Forgot to put that at the beginning, right? Now, here we go. We get into this first up is Dr. John Henrik Clarke. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to what he says. He gives the etymology of Jew. Jew is not the same as Yehuda. All right, explain that in a minute. All right, so here it is, brother out. Dr. John Henrik Clarke.
Allegedly Semitic. Neither one happened to be our friend. I have not heard a Jewish professor or any other professor give me a clear definition of a Semitic. If you can't tell me what is a Semitic, you can't tell me what is an anti-Semitic. Now, as the population calling themselves Hebrews flourished in North Africa and in Western Asia, and this continued, and the population in Africa flourished until they were pushed back to North Africa until the 12th century in Europe. Most of these Europeans were Christians and other European denominations. There was a fierce fight between the Arabs and the Christians, One group who did not want to belong to either one sought an option, and the option was the Hebrew faith. So what you are calling Jews are Europeans of the Hebrew faith. Many times they lived in communities of their choice. They did certain kinds of work.
All right, now, so you understand that Jewish comes from the jewelers, who are mainly the white people that took on the Hebraic religion. And they were called Jews because they dealt with jewelry. Remember, in the Hebrew tongue, there's no J. There wasn't even a J in the English language, which I did a video on that. The J wasn't invented until the 1500s by the French. French sold it to the English in the 1600s, and then in the late 1600s, the English start using the J. So before the English started using the J, which come off of the I sound, there was no thing called J anything. All right. Now, I want y'all to remember Helen Thomas. Who was Helen Thomas? And she's going to be significant in this next clip, right? Helen Amelia Thomas. She was born August 4th, 1920, died July 20th, 2013, right? Was an American author, news service reporter, member of the White House press corps. But this is what I want you to understand. She was a member of the White House press corps since Kennedy. All right. She worked for the United States press corps since Kennedy all the way up through Obama. All right. This woman was forced to design. This woman was forced to resign. This woman was forced to not go into fashion, but she was forced to resign from the White House press corps and all the things that she did. Why? Well, I put it down here. A quote, I hit the third rail, from Helen Thomas. I hit the third rail. You cannot criticize Israel in this country and survive. Hence, no freedom of speech. All right. She added that she issued an apology because people were upset, but that ultimately she still had the same feelings about Israel's aggression and brutality. That's Helen Thomas, right? Now, to show you the intense and insensitive and evil power of the Jewish leverage on people in the United States, Joy Behar did an interview with her, and Joy Behar, a Jew, all right, did an interview with her when she pointed out the differences and everything that happened, right? Here is that interview.
The downside of being outspoken is sometimes you get in trouble. I can relate because I've gotten into trouble over my career also.
Congratulations.
Yes, and thank you. I mean, when you have a big mouth, you're going to get in trouble. And my mother used to say, good luck with your mouth.
But that's called freedom.
It's called freedom of speech, and I use it every day.
And you pay the price.
You pay the price. Okay, and you did pay the price. Okay, so like those Israel remarks that you made, and I want people to see what it is we're talking about. So let's watch.
Any comments on Israel? We're asking everybody today. Any comments
Tell them
on
to
Israel?
get the hell out of Palestine.
Ooh. Any better comments on that?
Remember, these people are occupied, and it's their land. It's not German, it's not Poland.
So where should they go? What should they do?
They go home.
Where's the home?
Poland.
So the Jews,
Germany.
You think Jews go back to Poland and Germany?
And America and everywhere else.
So when you look at that, when I watched that and when I saw it in the first place, I thought to myself that is an insensitive remark. that Poland and Germany are the exact places that the Jews were put into concentration camps, and that at the very, very least...
We fought World War II. I had two brothers, many relatives.
Right.
There hasn't been the persecution since World War II. You don't take other people's land.
But but you see the insensitivity of the remark that...
No, I didn't realize it would ring that many bells because they've been free ever since.
I know, but Germany and Poland, you didn't pick, you know, Alaska. You picked Germany and Poland.
I should have said Russia, too.
Well, Russia had its share of anti-Semitic pogroms also, but...
They also had 25 million who died in World War II.
That's true. But I'm trying to...
More than that.
Yeah, so, I mean, Germany, Poland, you know, Dachau, Auschwitz, we're talking about...
And the United States.
And the United States what?
I said he said, where should they go? I mean, they didn't have to go anywhere, really, because they weren't being persecuted anymore, but they were taking other people's land.
You're talking about the Israelis?
Of course.
Do you consider yourself anti-Semitic?
Hell no.
You do not?
I'm a Semite.
You're a Semite yourself?
Of Arab background.
Oh, I know you're Lebanese background, right? But you're not Jewish.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, no, you say you're... I'm just trying to clarify.
They're not Semites. I mean, most of them are from Europe.
The Jews?
Yes.
Well, okay, but I'm trying to see, if you had a chance to redo the comment, what would you say now?
Why do they have to go anywhere? They're not being persecuted anywhere.
The Israelis? Okay. Why do they have to go anywhere?
The Jews.
The question was, any comments on Israel? That's what the question was. And you said, tell them to get the hell out of Palestine.
Right.
And then the rabbi who was interviewing you said, any better comments? And you said, remember, these people are occupied and it's their land, not Germany's, not Poland. So where should they go, he said. What should they do? And you said,
go home. Why do they have to go anywhere? They aren't being persecuted. They don't have the right to take other people's land. Under international law, occupied land should not be annexed.
But then maybe you should have said, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but maybe you should have said, well, the Israelis should stay in Israel, but you said they should go back to Poland and Germany. That's what got you in trouble, Helen.
He said, where should they go?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it did get me in trouble. Everything is distorted, but I don't care, you know.
You don't care at this point?
No, hell no.
Okay. All right. Well, you got a lot of criticism for it. How did you deal with all of that criticism?
We have organized lobbyists in favor of Israel. You can't open your mouth. I can call the President of the United States anything in the book. But if you say one thing about Israel, and you're off limits.
Well, that's what happened to you. I mean, the Society of Professional Journalists retired the Helen Thomas Lifetime Achievement Award. They said no individual worthy of such honor should have to face this controversy. No honoree should have to decide if the possible backlash is worth being recognized for his or her contribution to journalism. Are you offended by that?
By what?
The fact that they will not give this this award to anybody in your name?
Well, I mean, that's their decision, but I think it's stupid. Has nothing to do with my views about Israel. My achievements in journalism are a little separate.
So you have no regrets about what you said, even though
I have regrets that everybody's misinterpreted it and distorted it. And you have the Ari Fleischer and Abe Foxman distorting everything. So I certainly knew that, and I should have kept my mouth shut, probably.
But you still don't feel that it was insensitive in any way?
No.
No.
I'm sensitive about the Palestinians being pushed around, knocked on the door at 3 o'clock in the morning. Get out of this house in 24 hours. 3 generations in refugee camps.
Okay.
Pushed from their homes.
I see. But you see the other side of it. The other side of it is that the Jews are sensitive because of the history that they have in the 20th century.
Well, everybody's sensitive when they're being pushed out of their homes.
Well, but the 20th century was particularally cruel to the Jewish population.
Yes, it was.
In Europe, in Germany,
my
and Poland.
family went through World War II. We were very sensitive. All of us were there. Every American was there.
But did your family go to a concentration camp?
No.
No. Well, that's the difference. That's the point.
The difference is that count how many thousands of Palestinians are in jail now, thrown from their homes. 1 million refugees. Is that sensitive?
Everybody's got sensitivity points here.
Right. You're right.
Now, y'all understand that for some reason, white people can never see the harm that they do to other people. They only care about their feelings versus starvation, murder, kidnapping, bulldozing of people's homes, telling people they got 24 hours to get out of their home, and then it's going to disappear from a rocket from above. All right. And white people say, oh, you're not supposed to be angry. Wow, they sound just like black women, don't they? You know, the ones that take you to child support court, the ones that try to get all your money off of you. Then they turn around and ask you for all kinds of favors and expect you to not be angry. All right. And how much are black women and these white people are alike? Black women do the same thing. What isn't the first thing they say to you, oh, you must be angry? All right, they treat you evil and then expect for you to endure it with a smile. They imprison you, expect you, like Brian Banks, with false charges and expect for you to endure it with a smile. They send people to jail for child support and expect them to not be angry enough to want to shoot somebody when they get a woman pregnant. That's why all this mess is going on. Lack of compassion for how other people feel about the evil that is being done to them. All right. Now, in Time magazine, War for Israel, when he was asked about peace in the Middle East, the late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, stated, this is before Menachem Begin, right? Stated that the Jews will never be able to live here in peace because they left here black but came back white. Oh my goodness. You can't get any more clearer than that. Why the people in the Middle East have a problem with the Israelis that's running Israel. Because they know they're white. They know they're European. Now you see the breakdown. All right. Now, Helen Tolman, until everything that went on in the world, she knew about it. So when she says that they don't belong there, you know they don't belong there. All right. President of Egypt, he's like, wait a minute. They left white but came back black. You see what I mean? All right. So you brothers and some of you sisters that are watching this, I want you to pay attention. All right. So here's the breakdown. But now, here's the dude. His name is Real Israel. That's his YouTube handle, right? And he had a video, Adolf Hitler and the real Jews are black, right? And he did a better job than another group, ISUPK, who used the same book. And he showed you the source information. And that's one of the things I don't like about ISUPK. If you have information to bring out and people need it, just give it to them. Right? But this dude did this. And that's why I put the title of the book in his presentation. So you'll see it. And it costs about $60 to $70. Well, $60 to $70. All right. A good used one on Amazon. All right. But here he is with his take from the book. Now pay attention because he brings up some good points. Right? Points that even I wasn't aware of. And I'll get to that in a minute.
Shalom, Israel. This is my Kodak. This is my name on YouTube. Please spread this video because this is not just about World War II. This is a book, as you can see. It's about the evil Nazis. Everyone likes to call them evil. The Nazis wasn't even the name that they gave themselves. But this is a book It's The Nazis, World War II by Time Life Books, which is a big American publisher. If we go in, we will see the first page. And I saw this video on YouTube, and the quality wasn't good, so I thought I'd do another one. This is very important for people who have been brainwashed about World War II, and also people who are finding out that they're Hebrew Israelites. Now, as the ISUPK video on YouTube says, Adolf Hitler was not a madman. He knew what he was saying, and he knew who the real biblical Jews are, and still are today. But this is by Robert Edwin Hertzstein. That sounds a very Jewish name. There's a difference between being from the tribe of Judah, like Jesus was, and being Jewish. But let's keep going, because unlike many people, I know about World War II. Now, if you want to know the truth about World War II, and I say everyone who's in the Hebrew Israelite truth should really go on to YouTube and put in your search engine. There's a documentary called Adolf Hitler, The Greatest Story Never Told. Now, this is just basic. Let me take this off. Put that on the floor. Now, this is a book. You can see pictures of Adolf Hitler, Martin Bormann. Now, Martin Bormann, in 1933, made a legislation to protect black minorities in the Third Reich, who were getting beaten up by the white majority. That was in 1933. As you can see him there with Hitler. Keep going now. So all these pictures with Hitler. But please see that. Go on YouTube and see that documentary. It's called Adolf Hitler, The Greatest Story Never Told. It's amazing, because over here they teach you one version of World War II, and it's a lot of lies. I mean, I was quite shocked when I saw this documentary, actually. I was really shocked. It's got pictures of Ava Brown, Adolf Hitler, again, Heinrich Himmler. Again, I want to say about Heinrich Himmler, he wrote a letter to the Reichstag, which is the German parliament, urging the German parliament to do more for black minorities in the German Reich. The contradiction to this is that Hitler was sterilizing women who mixed with blacks. So they weren't into mixing. And anyone who mixed with blacks, because there was large numbers of Africans in the Rhineland, in the demilitarized zone. And before Hitler came into power, many black and white, black men, African men, white women had jungle fever and made mixed race babies. So they sterilized them, which is not good. I'm not condoning that at all. But that's the contradiction. Heinrich Himmler, you know, urged the German Reich and the parliament to help black minorities. And in fact, many African Americans worked and lived in Germany in the cabaret bars, in the jazz clubs, which is a strange thing. So when the war broke out, a lot of them had a choice to either go back to America or fight for the German Reich, and many did. And this is why, if you put black Nazis in YouTube, you can see many pictures of black and Arab soldiers, because the Nazis had a multicultural army and they were not segregated, unlike the the Americans, who separated the Negroes, who are the real Jews. So you have some more Nazi propaganda about Jews, who basically separated the Negroes from the whites. They wasn't allowed to fight together. I just want to show you, this is, I'm not just rambling on here. There's a page. Now this is the page that ISUPK was showing. And this is clips from a propaganda movie that they were showing in German cinemas. And there, if you look on this side, there's Adolf Hitler there, and there's Goebbels, Joseph Goebbels. And here, they were showing the origin of the true Jews, the African Americans, the true tribe of Judah. Now, many African Americans do not know that they are Hebrew Israelites. In 70 AD, when Titus came and he was a Roman general, he surrounded Jerusalem, captured a lot of Israelites, and damaged the temple, destroyed it. Over 1 million or 2 million, 1 million to 2 million Hebrew Israelites fled west. Now, west of Israel is Africa. We all know that. And they dispersed down. Another video you might want to look at is the Lemba tribe. Lemba tribe. Put that in YouTube and you'll see a documentary. They are, well, so-called Africans who are in South Africa, in rural areas, and they did DNA testing on them. Because they're in rural areas, they don't mix, they keep within their own tribe, and they were claiming to be Hebrew Israelites. And the DNA testing proved that their DNA strands were exclusive to the area of Israel. And because they didn't mix, it was easier to detect. So you need to watch that. Also, Nigerian Igbos. If you put Nigerian Hebrew Israelites in YouTube, again, you'll find a documentary that was on Channel 4 about Hebrew Israelites in Nigeria. The Igbos, many of them think they're African, they're not. People from Sierra Leone as well. Many Madingos, Mende, Temne are Hebrew Israelites, and they don't know it as well. The best book I would say is Babylon to Timbuktu. A really good book. Google that, try and get that book. But this is what Hitler was showing. Now, this is an Oriental Negro. Now, this is the original Chinese in the Orient were Negroes. Look at that. That's a black man. And this is what they were showing. This is the nigger. And you go down. Now, they were showing that the Jew is a bastard. That's Baltad, which means bastard in German. Now, they got it wrong. They said Hamitic. Now, the Hebrew Israelites are not Hamitic. They're Shemitic. Hamitic people originate from Africa, but Shemitic people are right next to Africa, which is Israel. And that's why they were calling the Jews a bastard. Now, I just want to say that I'm not, anti-Semitic or whatever the world wants to kind of call it. I don't subscribe to that anyway, because they are converts. They are nothing but converts. But let me say about this demonizing of Adolf Hitler. He was into eugenics. As I said, he sterilized a lot of blacks, and he got that all from America. The same with the concentration camps, IG Farben, IBM, they gave him all the technology. But if you watch that documentary, Adolf Hitler, The Great Story Never Told, if you watch that and watch it, it's in parts, 15 minutes apart. It's an amazing documentary. It will change your perspective. It will show the lies in that war, and that the Jewish NKVD were the ones who were killing German civilians in Poland. And when Hitler asked help from Britain and France, they ignored him. When he went into Poland, they gave him 1 day to retreat and then to withdraw, and then they declared war. I mean, that sounds like an ambush. And you see many documentaries showing that these 3 world wars were planned. So there's going to be another one. So that was planned. But this documentary also shows what some Jews were doing in Germany. They were boycotting German businesses. And not just in Germany, in England, France, America, you couldn't find anything made in Germany on it. And that's how they negotiated to go to Palestine. So this is information that we don't know. This is crucial information. We've only seen one side of the story. And it talks about after the war and what they said that he done in the Holocaust. It just breaks it all down. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Just watch that documentary. But this book is kind of like a revelation, because many black people, many West Indian people don't know they're from the tribe of Benjamin. Many Haitian people don't know they're from the tribe of Levi. So we're trying to wake people up to realize that you are a Hebrew Israelite. You do not originate from Africa. Our ancestors are from Israel, but they dwelled in Africa. And many historic books of white authors and black authors show this, you know? And a lot of history has been tainted. I mean, look at the Dark Ages. Put Dark Ages in YouTube and see what they've done to the images of all the black people who ruled Europe. The Moors in Spain and King James. People think King James was a white man. I used to think it as well. It's only when I saw this book showed the picture, the portrait of him, and how they've tried to change the black portrait and tried to make it, a white color, break the noses off statues, just like they've done in Egypt. And the Persians done that. The reason why the Persians done that, because black people, we have broad noses. So these people right here, it's not to be offensive or anything like that. Most of them even admit that they're from Eastern Europe, but it's just a small, powerful elite that keep going on with this lie. So we're trying to wake these people up, and we're also at the same time trying to show people that Hitler wasn't the monster that he was made out to. They built him up, they funded him, and literally this book is just pure propaganda. And we have to remember, in this war, after the war, 5 million Germans died after the war in the hands of American and British occupation. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You just go on Adolf Hitler, the greatest story never told, and watch that video. But to everyone in Israel, waking you up, this book is called The Nazis. It's got Hitler on there, and you know, once you see that documentary, you realize that he had good intentions and he was a very good leader, and there's many lies being done. It's like two gangs going to war. If one gang wins, takes their territory, you can say whatever you want about the other gang. You can say, what else? Selling drugs to kids. So we had to do that. We had to do this. And this is what they're doing. And the icing on the cake is, oops, books fell down, but don't worry about that. The icing on the cake is what is happening now in Palestine. So it's almost like the persecutors have become the persecutors. It's really weird. But with that, I say shalom, Israel, peace, and keep spreading the word and truth about Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace, shalom.
Okay, so one of the points that I was not aware of, that the eugenics program, the sterilization and stuff like that, yeah, all that Hitler did to his people, he got from the people here in the United States. All the torture stuff came from the United States. The ways that the United States figured out how to treat black slaves and stuff like that, they passed that along to Hitler and his crew. Not only that, having lived over in Germany for a while, I never experienced the racism in Germany that I did here in the United States. Never did. In Germany, I could have had a bunch of white girlfriends or German girlfriends. As a matter of fact, you could have a woman of any kind that probably would have, cut for you if you're going to stay in Germany. They're not all that racist. All right. They're just down for Germany. All right. Here's the difference. White people don't belong in the United States. They're the ones that need to go back to where they came from, because they came here and did evil to everybody, right? Some of the black people are indigenous to the United States. The other black people that ended up over here at that time didn't ask to be here, right? They were brought here in ships to work for white people for free so that they could get rich and become billion and trillionaires off of our backs and build this country off of our backs. All right. So there's a couple of problems you have with the white people narrative, right? They're the ones that don't belong here at all. They're the ones that came here, killed everybody else, raped, murdered, brutalized, stole from, cheated, castrated, hung, robbed of their language, culture, heritage, and religion and spirituality, gave them a false one by manipulating the women. All right. White people are the ones that don't belong here. For you white people that watch this channel, yes, this is about the truth. All right. Some of the black people don't know if we belong here or not. Why? Because there was a lot of black people when white people got here that were indigenous to the land. Do you know why they only promote the Native Americans that look paler than the black people? Because they don't want you white people to know that the Seminoles were black and they were here long before white people here. They don't want other white people to know that most of the Mayan gods were black. Some of them were. All right. Why would the Mayans have black men as their god of the hunt, god of the war, and god of wisdom? That's a powerful god. But yes, that's what they worship, the Mayans. All right. When you go down to South America, you'll see statues that we produced that are there then. Black men. All right. So, again, like this thing says, like the Bible says that the Israelites, not Jews, now that we got that cleared up, stop calling black people Jews. We're not Jews. White people are Jews. They work with jewelry. Black people are Israelites. Or we are Yehuda. But we're not Jews. So let's get that J mess out of here. All right. So the people up top are Yehuda or Israelites. The people down the bottom are Jews. But the Jews are people that just stole the Hebrew religion, took it for their own, and try to get everybody to wash that down. But people look at their skin, you're lily white. What you doing over here in Africa, you lily white person? Now they're just lily white people with a tan. Speaking of tan, I present to you white people, my boys. This is how we knew, and Nasser knew that you did not belong in Africa.
Black skin has naturally excellent protection from the sun. White skin needs the extra help of a sunscreen like UV.
Better to be safe than sorry.
When we're out in the sun, we're all at the mercy of Mother Nature. But think about it. To get the protection the black man has naturally, the white man needs a sunscreen like UV. So, Mother Nature must be black.
My final thought. The white Jewish people theft of the Israelite way of life is the biggest crock of food known to human history. This robbery even goes deeper than Christianity, the lie of Christianity itself. Because this robbery is responsible for all the wars, This robbery right here, World War I, World War II, all the rest of the wars, and the unrest in the Middle East. This one lie, so much murder and death came off of this one lie. It is ridiculous. People get fired. People get censored because they are running things. They make sure to prevent or stifle all commentary for people to get out the truth about what these people have done to corrupt another group of people, and that would be us, the Israelites. And this money and stuff was responsible for the slave trade that the Portuguese, the Spanish, and the French, and the English were all a part of. About the only dang people that somebody help me if I'm wrong, about the only dang people that didn't have much to do with the slave trade happened to be the Germans, which had a problem with World War I and II. Go figure. The Germans and the Soviets, right? The two European countries that really had little to do with the slave trade. All right. But it was financed by the Catholic Church and the Jews. And remember, Jews are not Hebrews. They're not Israelites. They are just white people that took on the Hebrew name of religion, and their nickname for what their job was, what their craft was. That's what Jew is, a nickname for the craft that they did in Europe. They call them Jewish for dealing with jewelry. Jew. Now that we got that all spelled out, another thing, for those of you that listened this long, another Invicta watch up for grabs. All right. And this is going to go to my long-time listeners, right? I use the word crack-a-foo. And I got it from a particular person. I mentioned it before. All right. Where did I get crack-a-foo from? Black-a-crack-a-foo came from me. Feminine black-a-crack-a-foo, black feminine crack-a-foo came from me. But crack-a-foo in and of itself, when you see this, and I tell you that what's been had on us is crack-a-foo, meaning that we've been bamboozled, took, run amok. All right? That came from someone. Where did crack-a-foo come from? One Invicta watch goes to the first person that can send it to my email at refugetemplenabi@hotmail.com. The reason why you have to send your answer there, because it's timestamped and I can tell who's first. With that said, I'm out.